So you can hear Casey.
Yeah, so you can hear me blow my nose. Baby, does this give them a concealed carry permit, or does this just allow them
It's
to carry
basically
concealed
permitless carry if they have that permit. If they have that, if they're the petitioner for the.
Okay, so they don't get a concealed carry permit.
Yeah, it's
necessarily, but
basically
they
our
can-
first stab at permitless carry.
I'm okay with it as long as like we also get them help.
KNRS FM,
Yeah,
Centerville,
who help?
570 AM KNRS.
Well, that's what the
So-
DV is.
The what?
That's what the DV is.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think.
NBC News Radio, I'm Phil Hewlett.
Like, if they've been-
Tom McClintock is defending President Trump's national emergency.
They've been
So
controlled
can I
and
link it to
abused
my
for
page
so
too
long.
then? How do I do
That's
that?
why they
Handing
did
them
this.
a gun is not gonna
No.
help them mentally, like,
No.
be okay.
That's not the point of it.
Right.
The point is, they become a victim of domestic violence.
Right.
You can share
They wanna protect
If I
themselves.
did this under an ERPO,
I can share that, or
all the weapons go out. Me as the offender and yours.
Oh, okay.
So right
Okay.
now, if there was a life-threatening situation here, it would take them 8 to 10 weeks, probably even longer than that right now. By the time you go through the class to get your concealed carry permit, this allows them and says, hey, you're a law-abiding citizen. You pass the background check, this is your concealed carry permit, so you can walk outside of your home and feel safe. Now, whether you do that,
And, right.
it's up to
True.
you. It's not the
True.
law.
Yeah.
Just post to
But
Facebook.
we're not gonna,
Stop you.
we're not gonna convict you of any law breaking.
Bill, if I throw it to you, do you
Sure.
have,
Sure.
do you have something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We'll do an update on the hunting thing, but I've got a lot to talk about in regards to the forum this past week.
Okay.
believe that Trump is the national emergency, and we want to say no walls, no way.
How
No
long-
walls, no way.
How long do they get to?
As long as the-
120 days, 4 months.
As long as the protective order's in place, isn't it?
No, 4 months.
4 months?
Second time today in
Like it.
Bronx.
But if they want to get one, they've got to be plenty of time to
Yeah, absolutely.
have one.
The youngest woman
That's
ever
true.
elected to Congress at the age of 29.
No, that's the best thing we can do is to say, hey,
NBC News Radio.
oh yeah, we're not, we don't think about the women in our lives? Absolutely.
For future claims. Officials with the fund say it will affect pending claims and new ones that are filed. Some 9/11
Can we hear in our headphones yet?
families say
We can.
they
Yep.
were able to pay medical bills thanks to the
Awesome.
fund, but now they worry about 9/11 workers who may get sick.
If you want to swap, I'll trade you.
More and more people are getting sick, and they're
Okay.
getting sick because the
You can have some of mine.
What kind do you get?
Harvest cheddar sun chips.
What's Harvest cheddar?
Delicious.
Does that grow on a plant?
Probably.
Fund was opened in 2011 to compensate for deaths and illnesses related to the September 11th attacks.
I got a little too much chili.
Congress set aside
Kind of like a chili cheese chip.
$1 billion, and there's currently
Yeah, that's not a bad thing though.
$2 billion left. in the
No.
fund. Purchase of name brand drugs.
Yeah, we have some of it.
Generic competition.
And I don't feel guilty eating them because they say that they're healthier than potato chips.
Lisa Z has
Let's read the real story.
clear path for more efficient drug development statement.
They're not gluten-free. So they can't be healthy. According to my gluten-free friends. Those are good though.
They're gonna.
Here it says we have been able to advance additional policy to reduce generic competition, including from power legislators. Elisa Z, NBC News Radio.
economists say the chance of a U.S. recession this year is going up. Lisa Carter has more.
Researchers told the Economist that there's now a 1 in 4 chance of a recession in the next 12 months. That should keep the Federal Reserve from raising
How are we on time? Oh, man.
showed an expected cut to the outlook for U.S. economic growth and another rate hikes this year and next.
NBA All-Star
Big game.
swing in Charlotte.
Black Bear. I gotta put in.
Oh, I thought you caught.
No. Yeah. Don't tease me like that. I wonder how come my.
What?
There we go.
This report is sponsored by Rondano. Choose the no brand licensed pictures you want 24/7. Even one part you may have been told consumer only are no longer available. All the reviews are on Rondano.com.
I have only 5 words for you. From my cold, dead hands.
It's time for Gun Radio Utah. No apologies. A show dedicated to preserving and protecting your constitutional right to bear arms for your security and sport. Here's your host, well-known gun rights advocate and chairman of the Utah Shooting Sports Council, Clark Aposian.
Welcome to Gun Radio Utah. No apologies. In the house we have Bill Pedersen.
Present.
Casey,
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Casey
Yes,
Jane
I-
Aposian. Are
Woohoo!
you present? That's your present call.
Yep.
Doran Barton running our video audio. And you can find us on Gun Radio Utah Facebook page. You can find us on YouTube. Just type in Gun Radio Utah.
Check out
And
my
you
new
can
hair color.
Your new hair color. Which
Yeah.
you stunned the people at the forum, of which we're going to be talking about, the
Sure
Gun
did.
Confiscation Forum, or the
Yep.
Forum on Gun Confiscation. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And we have coming up second segment. You do not want to miss this. It's permitless carry, common
What?
sense carry,
In the
permitless carry,
news
constitutional
from
carry.
this past week, or
No, we're,
Oh.
we're having our own
You've
little
got
minor. We're sticking our toes
some
into the water again, so to speak.
news.
We
to share.
have Representative Watkins, who's going to be joining us and talking about her new bill,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. HB 332. If you want to get a head start on it, no, is it no?
HB 243.
Thank
I have it
you.
in front of me.
You have it in front of you. HB 243.
243.
You can remember 243 because
Yes,
it's
you
just a
can.
neck down 308.
308. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. I'm not going to remember it that way.
243, my favorite hunting rifle.
Yeah.
Started as a kid.
All right. So we're going to talk about that. That's coming up second segment. We're going to talk about Conservative Caucus on Tuesday morning at 7 a.m., Bill.
I will be there.
7
I'll be there.
a.m.
Looking forward to that.
I
We'll
will
talk.
not.
I was in federal court on Thursday.
Yeah,
I was in
Valentine's.
federal court on Thursday, Valentine's Day, by choice. I was there. I was the
You
plaintiff.
wanted to get
I was
away
the
from your
plaintiff.
wife.
Yeah, I was the plaintiff in the case. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about lots of DV bills. When I say DV, we're talking about domestic violence bills up at the legislature. And our guest, Representative Watkins, has a DV bill as well that we
like.
actually support.
Yeah, big time.
It was an awesome bill.
Bill,
Agreed.
This is a great bill.
speaking of bills, what number are we at now, or what number are we coming up on as far as constitutional carry, common sense carry in the United States?
Well, as of this past week, we are up to 18.
Well, no. Did we get the 18th one?
Or we got the 18th.
Which one is the 18th one?
Kentucky.
No, we
Not
didn't get it yet
Kentucky.
because it passed. It's on to the House. It passed the Senate. I didn't think it actually passed the House yet.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Oh, he's
anyway,
looking.
so Kentucky, because South Dakota.
South
we
Dakota
got
was
that.
number 17.
Number 17. So
And-
when Kentucky actually gets it signed by their governor, it'll be number
18.
18. All right, that's fantastic.
Which is an interesting number. We're talking about this
Now
before
tell me
the
why
show.
that's an interesting number, Bill.
We have 13 states that are running an ERPO,
You mean a gun confiscation bill?
gun confiscation bill.
Or otherwise called a red
As
flag
of
law.
Yeah, last year there was only 5 states. We're now up, by the end of this year, we'll probably have 14 states, not including Utah.
So we had 5 states, and then
It's like a rabid disease.
interesting. So we added 9 more. So what do you account for this rapid push? And what do you account for it happening here in Utah, of all places, a gun confiscation bill? What do you think? What's going on?
I think there's a lot of hysterical rhetoric that's going on. And I think as people get information about what the so-called intent is for this bill, they're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But when they peel back the onion and actually see what this bill is,
What it's made of?
it
stinks, doesn't
it's
it?
very stinky.
Stinks.
It's very stinky bill.
Stinky bill.
And we're going to talk about that in,
In
the
fact, you know
upcoming
what?
segment.
You know,
So-
there's an elephant in the room right now.
Oh, I don't see one.
Well, it's there.
Oh, okay.
And it's because people can't see it that it's so terrible. Anyway, is the poll. The poll that was conducted by, I think it was the Tribune via Hinckley Institute of Politics, something like that, where they asked many people, and they said something to the effect, would you favor, thank you, Lundy, and would you favor, do you believe that a person who has been deemed to be a danger to themselves or others should have their firearms removed? Apparently, 58% of Republicans said yay, yes.
Well, yeah, the way to
68% of overall people
phrase
said
it.
yes. And we're thinking, well, who would be that one person, or in our case, the 42% 2% that said no.
No,
No,
don't take a
don't
crazy
take the
person's
crazy
guns.
So, and so I was asked by a Tribune reporter, and I said, "Well, what do you, they're all snarky. What do you think about that? Even 58% of
gonna
your Republican people like this." And I said, "Well, let me tell you something." At first, I said, "Listen, hun." That irritates him, especially because it wasn't a woman.
I was going to say it wasn't a man.
No, I'm just kidding. Listen, hon. And so I got into my mansplaining.
Oh, geez.
No, anyways, thanks, Lundy. So I said, legislators are dealing with a gun confiscation bill right now. In fact, they were dealing with one at the end of last session.
Correct.
HB 248, by the same legislator. I said, they will take 45 days and more to research every single, they will trouble over every word in this bill, this gun confiscation bill. And they still won't agree on it. Do you really think that asking a one-sentence question as to whether or not, how this should be decided is the appropriate way to determine public policy? Let me tell you something about polls, hun. If I believed in polls and their value, we'd all be calling Hillary president right now.
I feel like they phrased it to a point where if you said no, they look at you like you're hurting a puppy.
Yeah.
Kicking
a nun or hurting puppies.
Thing,
yeah.
In addition to that, was where were they Wednesday night?
Tell us about Wednesday night.
Not one person spoke in favor of this bill other than
Tell us what was Wednesday night. Wednesday night was a forum.
A forum of our gun confiscation bill, HB 209. It was a packed room.
So
it was
I was on the forum.
Yep, J-Mac was running this from KSL.
So we'll have to bleep that out. No, anyway. So
he's a good guy.
I like him.
Representative Corey Malloy and I, Clark Aposhian, were two that were again this.
Representative Handy was there.
And then Action Utah.
And I'm trying to remember
domestic violence.
Jen Oxborough.
Marissa Sobelson-Hen.
From IHC.
Yeah, so it was basically 4 against 2. And if they wanted to make it 4, or if they wanted to make it fair, they should have had 10 against 2. But anyway, let me tell you. So, Bill, I'm going to ask you a question. What was the audience makeup, would you suppose, for or against?
It was all against this bill. Every single person was against this bill that made a comment.
Probably the one lady that had a
people that are
personal.
For the whole group, I would say, and I think this is a conservative ratio, 80-20.
Really?
Yeah.
84. Now,
80 against
now let me ask
24.
you another question. You've been to some public forums. You've been to some debates, especially ever since Jason Chaffetz had his town hall at Brighton High School when things just went crazy. How many outbursts would you say there were total?
Well, there was an outburst on mine question that I got asked, but but it was a simple question, but there were no outbursts.
Zero?
Zero.
How many people holding banners?
Waving signs and pink hats? Zero.
That was interesting. You know what? The last time I went to a forum before that was packed with gun folks. I mean, packed.
Mm-hmm.
The Salt Lake City County building a couple weeks ago, during the big storm, whenever that was.
Oh.
Anyway, zero outbursts.
That's true.
Hey, liberal hand-wringing bedwetters, take note. If you really want to get some information across, back and forth in a dialogue,
come to one of these forums.
Let us know. We'll show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are running out of time here on this segment. When we come back, we're going to have Representative Christine Watkins calling. And hopefully she made it home safely because she has a long way to travel and down to the eastern part of Utah.
Oh.
Eastern Vernal area.
Wow.
Yeah. Awesome.
So anyways, when we come back on Gun Radio Utah, stay tuned.
I did find a photo of Representative Handy. It's photo number 3 on that KSL article, where he's just like this.
I know. Every time he spoke, he just sat back and...
Yeah. Well, anyone spoke. He didn't say a word.
Yeah, we were walking out. We
Okay,
were
so
walking
Casey,
out together.
Doran, you gotta change that picture. I have like fat and
And,
total fat in that picture.
We were walking out and I said, Andy didn't say anything. It was all Action Utah. And then you called and
Take a
said the
picture of
exact same
Casey
thing like
and
30
Bill. I'm
seconds
just
later.
like, oh, that's
Didn't
an
even defend
idiot's
his,
picture.
didn't even defend his bill.
No, he presented it and then sat back and,
sat
let
back, didn't say a
everyone
word.
else run it. Yeah,
Okay, so,
Yeah, that was really amazing.
yeah.
so Lundy, you're gonna call Watkins? Okay, cool.
Now, they did outburst when I said, would
I couldn't remember.
Lauren McCluskey be alive today
Oh, yeah.
if you had an EPRO advice? And the audience would say no. But also the panel said no, too.
Hey, can I get a few Chuck E. Cheese there?
Oh,
Do you want cheddar or chili?
he wants mine.
That's fine.
Good, that's good,
More for
that's
me.
good, that's good, that's good.
Did you see this picture? Did he show you that from this morning?
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't even see smoke coming out of that orange thing.
What's that?
Your picture.
Oh. Yeah, somebody took that on the,
I thought that's a good picture. I want to post it.
okay, go ahead.
Okay,
It's a lot better than the fat boy
Practicing
picture
safe
Doran took of me.
shooting. That's what I would title it.
Practicing
What?
safe shooting
Practicing safe shooting.
with my pumpkin
Orange
spice
gun.
block.
Yeah, pumpkin spice flour.
I like it this way better.
Huh?
Today's sponsor, Fritos with chili cheese.
Or harvest cheddar.
Not,
Oh.
but we sure love them.
They had no Diet Dr. Pepper at that.
Boy, I about,
I'm gonna ask, Wendy to go with Trump this section.
this soda thing's killing me. Not
I only do
drinking
one soda a week now.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd love, I couldn't do that.
Christina's online.
Check. Christine's on.
Are we gonna do Trump now?
I have it for third segment.
Okay, is there a chance of doing it this one? Or is it too late?
It's probably too late.
Okay, no worries. Okay, let's go 12 minutes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let me pull up that bill.
This one?
Yeah. I've got it right here.
Now at Jerry Seiner Kia in Salt Lake and South Jordan, you can drive a new 2019 Kia Forte for only $129 a month. Yeah, $129. Jerry Seiner Kia in Salt Lake.
District 69.
Pound 250 and save for lease information.
Would this bill also include the LGBTQ community?
Latest news around the country and Utah on firearms.
You can't hear me.
No.
Radio Utah, no apologies. On Talk Radio 1059, KNRS. Listen and you'll know. Your host, Clark Kaposian.
So somebody asked me the other day,
Yeah.
if they listen on 570 AM, how can they do that? Because that's an AM station,
Yeah.
and our show is afternoon.
Ha ha
That's
They
ha
funny.
seriously,
ha.
they thought that AM, you,
No,
you
really?
had to listen to it. That's
Really?
an AM station.
In the morning?
Yeah.
5-7 in the morning.
Well, no, they just thought it was just all AM stations where you had to listen to them before noon.
Oh,
Anyway.
jeez.
Anyways, well, we had the one, what's a pony?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
A
yeah,
pony
a
is not
pony
just
is a small horse.
a baby horse.
No.
A pony is a type of horse,
Small horse.
just small. You knew that because you're a horse person, Doran. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hey, welcome to Gun Radio Utah. Because I want to save all the time we've got for our guest, Lundy. Bring on Representative Christine Watkins. Representative, are you there?
I am.
Oh, thank you so much. Did you get home safely? I gather you must have gotten home safely.
I did get home safely. I knew I could do that today. Last night would have been debatable, but I'm home and ready to go.
Now, you represent the good people in District 69. Give us an idea of what that covers. It covers quite an area.
It does. It's one of the bigger districts because it is rural. I have the biggest portion of Duchesne County. Duchesne County actually has 3 reps, but I cover the biggest area from Fruitland to most of Roosevelt and most of that in between, all of Carbon County, Green River City in Emery County, and then the Delicate Arch and the mountains and a little bit on the east side of Moab in Grand County.
Well, you have a beautiful
Yeah,
district.
what a cool area.
Hey, I know where to live.
Yeah. Are there any houses for sale?
Yes, there are, but if you're into fixer-uppers, we've got a lot of those.
Okay.
Well, fantastic. You know, the good residents of District 69 voted you in, and you've been in there since 2017. So, wonderful job. I got to tell you, very excited about the bill you're running, HB 243. Not just the number, because we like it. 243 is obviously a hunting cartridge. But that's how I'm going to remember
Aren't we
this
lucky?
one. Yeah.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
So anyway, tell us about HB 243 and what does it do?
Well, this bill modifies the provisions or the rules related to a victim of domestic violence or dating violence. And what it does is if you have filed I hope I can remember how to say this. If you have filed at where they can't stop
protective order.
A protective order. Thank you. And you don't have a concealed weapon card, and you haven't thought of getting one before, and now you're like, oh, I need to do this. This will allow you to do that for up to 120 days, and gives you time to go get your concealed weapon training, go through the bureau where you do the BCI, where they check your background and make sure you're okay. And for a lot of people, it would maybe be brushing up on your ability to shoot a gun, and you'll have 120 days. And this is if there's nothing else on your record. Now, if you're a felon, you're in trouble. So
right, exactly. We're no apologists
we'll take
for
that
them.
out of that. But I guess one of the reasons I really like this bill is I am so sad and angry every time I hear of women and their children being killed by an ex-boyfriend, an ex-husband, and they are just out there like sitting ducks. And so I'm just very, very honored to run this bill.
Well, we just love the leadership that you're taking in this one. It is a breath of fresh air. It is toes in the water, so to speak, for permitless carry, but that's beside the point. What we've got here, there's a lot of DV, domestic violence bills up on the Hill this year.
Yeah, we do. And some of them make it through, some don't. A lot depends on who's running it. I was so surprised because when I put my name to this bill, I had all sorts of people coming and saying, we love this bill. We are so excited you're doing this. We will support you. We will do what we need to help you get this bill through, because it's quite a process to get a bill through the legislature. I'm sure a lot of people think, well, you just introduce a bill, do a little meeting or two, and it's done. And it's not. It's quite a process, and it goes through many eyes, and sometimes there's a lot of heart involved. And so I started this process, and I will tell you, if we do not get through the finish gate at the end of this session, we'll do it again next.
Hi, Christine. This is Casey.
Hi, Casey.
I love this bill, and I love it for a few reasons. I think it empowers women. I mean, I don't know if you've heard that or if people have said that, but I think it kind of empowers them, because in a domestic violence situation, a lot of times the victim will feel like they are, they don't have any options to get out. They don't have any options to protect themselves. And I think this is one way that they can, empower themselves to be more educated, to protect themselves, to protect their children and anyone else involved.
Absolutely. And we have a lot of organizations in the state of Utah who are willing and ready to help these women brush up on their skills, to know how to do this. And they've come to me and said, we're ready. If these women need help while they take the class and then they get through that process, we're ready to help them. And I went to Front Sight in Nevada a couple of years ago with my husband, and that's a kind of a more expensive way to learn about guns. But one of the things they taught us, and I've never forgotten it, is if you're ready to carry a gun, then you have to make that decision. Go through it in your mind. If someone's ready to kill me, I'm ready to kill them.
Absolutely.
And that's a tough decision to make, and not everyone's going to be willing to do that. But if you're in a situation where it's me or them, you need to have that ready and know that you're protecting yourself and your family.
Right. I wanted to make another comment. I didn't know where you lived until just now, and I took a training course with the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition to help victims call in through the crisis line and talk through safety plans and talk through what are their options in getting out of situations like that. And I learned that in the more rural parts of Utah, there are not a lot of options out there. And I don't know if where you are, there are a lot of like safe haven kind of places for people to go. But I know as we get further south and out of the city, they don't have places like the YMCA or, other places that can shelter or protect.
Shelter them. Yes,
and
we do have one in Price, but I can't speak for Moab or Green River or Duchesne. But yes, we have one in Price, and we're being threatened with the funding being cut, and we certainly don't want that. But yeah, you're right. In the city, there is a lot more, but I would tell you, and the hard thing is sometimes when women are caught in these situations, they don't even have a car or money to put gas in the car. But we're trying to get the word out that there are people here to help, and I've helped with a number of them because everybody knows that I'm on the ground helping people. I'm not just passing bills and doing that, but I want to know what my constituents are going through and how I can help them.
Representative Watkins, I was so glad to hear you say that you've taken some training, and it's not just that. You have a mindset. You have a mindset that, to me, says it answers the question that someone said to me earlier in this week up at the Capitol. They said, well, if we give these women, as opposed to, they don't already have a gun, we're going to give these women a gun.
That's next year's bill.
I mean, really?
This was actually, and I will say, this was a woman that was telling me this, though, too. She was woman-splaining to me. Anyway.
Well, okay.
And she says, if we give them a gun, well, they're just going to have it taken away from them. And your statement about what you experienced at Front Sight Training Institute and your commitment doesn't sound like anybody with that kind of a commitment. It sounds like you've already decided what you're going to do, that it's not going to be taken from you.
Absolutely. You have to know that you've got a plan A and B. If you've got a C, fine, but I think A and B is enough. And you have to sit down and say, am I that kind of person that can do that? Am I strong enough to protect my children or just me? And I've worked with some of these women who have gone through domestic violence, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have never taken more than one or two times, and we'd either left the area or done something different. And so to me, I've made that commitment to myself and to my family. Now, granted, you can say, well, we maybe don't have as much in rural Utah, but that's not true. Wherever you have relationships, you can have domestic violence. And so part of their training, really and truly, as Casey said, needs to be, let's get that mindset going and be ready. And if you're not, then this is not for you.
Yep.
Representative Watkins, that is HB 243. Representative Watkins comes to us from District 69. I want to thank you for your courage. Thank you for your leadership in running this legislation.
You. This is amazing.
You're welcome. And it's about keeping everyone safe and alive. So thank you.
All right. And as we go on through the session and as it moves on, we'd love to hear back from you.
Great. Anytime.
All right. Thank you. That's Representative Christine Watkins, House District 69, running that fantastic bill, HB 243. You can put that into your bill tracking software on the utah.gov website and keep an eye on where it's at right now. All right, when we come back, we have lots more to talk about. We're going to run down some bills, go over what happened in federal court, and Kentucky maybe when we come back.
For more information about contests on this station,
Good job.
go to
Yeah, that was good.
KSLR.com/rules.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
High five. That's what my buddy always. High five. High five.
Yeah, there's only like maybe a handful of like resource centers where women can go and take
Well, and that's what
shelter
they brought up this
in
last
southern
Wednesday.
Utah, and they're shutting them down because there's no funding. So
Yeah.
anywhere south of here, if you're in a domestic violence situation and you don't have a place to go, you're screwed.
But those are state run. There are a lot of others that are out there.
Really?
Go ask
Oh, Bill,
Bishop.
I grabbed this. This is on the archives and that. You can
Oh,
actually
awesome,
see. I
thank
think
you.
they actually have them digitized, or not digitized, but photographed and everything.
Records. But not many people know that.
No.
You know, and if you weren't LDS, you
Right.
would not know that.
No.
But the
That's
funny
true.
part of it is,
It's true. Yeah.
the way I understand it, is that there are more non-LDS people supported through those family services for domestic violence than there are members for some ironic reason,
for
you
some
know. But
reason, yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah, it's good to know.
not everything has to be
Through the state.
funded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Americans every week, more than Google, Facebook, and even television. Because hey,
Do you have, what do you have that we haven't talked about?
Just
So I can give you time.
a minute just to talk about
You want to bring
the
us back
hunting
in?
season. Yeah, I can.
A hunting we will go season.
Hunting we will go. Awesome. I'm gonna save that. Done. Thank you. I'm gonna snoop around. Oops. That was a good one. I'm gonna snoop around on this page.
Mimi made the switch July 2015. Make the switch at JUUL.com.
Now, we need to have another forum. Maybe J-Mac can put this one together on 243 and invite everyone back to it.
Actually, a forum on all our program, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I think I just looked back. It's because Doran's camera adds 50 pounds.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't see it in me.
Yeah, I
mean, look.
see it. I see it.
Yeah, I need to approve this.
We're up to 53 people that like Gun Radio Utah.
Woohoo! I tried to add all my friends, but it would only limit me to like so many.
Oh, really?
You
have too many friends.
Oh, look,
coming in.
Trump is on.
To you snowflakes, have I got a deal for you? You're totally gonna love it. It is huge. A huge deal. Gun Radio Utah. No apologies. With Clark Potion on KNRS.
That has got to be one of the best sound bites ever. Welcome back. You're listening to Gun Radio Utah. I almost missed my cue to come in. Clue too, but welcome back. You got Clark Potion here, Casey, and behind the cameras, Doran's running our audio and video for our YouTube watchers and listeners as well. Hey, one thing we want to talk about real quick: big game applications. Many of you may have headed down to the International Hunt Expo down in downtown today, and hoping to draw out on that $5 permit. But if you don't draw out on that $5 permit, which your odds are you probably won't, make sure you put in for the big game tags. The application period is open now, and it will end on March 7th at 11 p.m. Also, you can put in for those. If you're into black bear hunting, the permits are open as well, and they will close on February 25th.
That's
11
coming up.
p.m. Yeah, that one's coming up quickly. Draw results will actually on the Bear will come out March 6th, and then we have till May 30th to find out if you drawed out. That's a word.
That's good grammar.
Drawed out. Drew out on any of the big game, your once in a lifetimes or your limited entries and whatnots will come out on May 30th. But if you're like me,
I don't know. Am I?
You're watching your credit card statements 2 weeks beforehand.
To see if
problem is
goes
you start
through.
mixing them all in, and you're like, "Oh crap! I just got a $400 charge. What did I win, or what did I draw out for?" But
Would you ever be worried that your wife spent $400 and you found that too?
No, I wouldn't be. She
good.
needs to spend $400 in a nice way.
Oh, good.
She's so supportive of me and hunting and that. So
Aw.
she should get out. They don't do Deer Widow weekend anymore. That used to be
It's
a
UEA
Utah
week. It's
holiday.
UEA weekend.
Yeah,
That's so lame.
Which used to be called the fall recess.
Oh, yeah.
And prior to that, for you history buffs, it was the deer hunt weekend. And hence the term Deer Widowers
Widow,
Weekend
yeah.
came up where, all the guys would head out, the kids, and the women would be at home, and they
The women
partied
would
it
go
up.
to, Wendover
or
for
wherever,
Thunder Down Under.
So, but make sure you get your applications put in. Good luck to you all. I've got 19 points. I'm going to bump one of you guys out hopefully this year. So
Doesn't matter. I'll start first and fresh and probably get one.
That's what I'm afraid
exactly.
of.
All
Like
right,
our
I got to
other
run
board
down some
member.
bills. Lundy, what do we got left? All right, he's holding up many fingers. Thank you.
Many fingers.
All right, that is 8. All right. So, I'm going to run through these. So, get your pencil and your piece of paper handy. I'm going to run down these bill numbers. Then you're going to go to utah.gov. You're going to click on the link to government. You're going to click on the link to legislative branch. You're going to click on the link to official website and go up to bills. One way or the other, get to the bills section and go to the tracking page. You know what? You can actually put this, once you get that, you can do it on your phone. And you can just save it to your home screen and just one click and bam, you're right there.
That's
Oh, really?
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah. I did that on mine.
Okay.
I may show the camera here in just a minute how to do that. All right, I'm going to go through HJR 7, good bill. Joint resolution on existing weapon restrictions. That is the no gun confiscation bill or the anti-red flag bill, Representative Corey Malloy. It is now moving from the House to the Senate where it passed out of the House, the full House. And Bill, just a quick note. Tell me, who was it? Was the one Republican that voted against the HJR 7?
You love when I do this.
I can't remember.
Unfortunately, drum roll, please. It was
Yeah.
Representative Stephen Handy up north that is running HB 209, which
he voted against.
He voted
against a bill that was packed with nothing but existing laws.
Exactly. To
Okay, interesting.
protect your constitutional right as a gun owner. And he
Okey
voted against it.
Dokey smoky. All
But
right,
don't worry,
so-
he's a fan of guns anyways.
all right.
He has a permit.
All right, HB 332. This just came up the other day. Representative Sue Duckworth. I love Sue Duckworth. We've got some questions about this bill, though. So I'm going to put a big, huge question mark by HB 332. All right, let's moving along. HB 331, prohibition on firearm modification devices by Representative Patrice Arent. Not a good bill. Not a good bill. Anyway, we don't like that bill. It's basically going to have a state ban on bump stocks and other things that we have that have never shown a pattern of abuse whatsoever, but have a huge pattern of recreational use and lots of fun. HB 325, domestic violence, weapon amendments by Representative Brian King, who is the House Minority Leader. We don't like this bill.
Oh.
I'll tell you why in maybe a little bit. All right, moving along. Domestic violence modifications, HB 243. We just spoke with Representative Christine Watkins. That is a good bill. That gets our stamp of approval from the Utah Shooting Sports Council. Open carry near school amendments. Representative Joel Briscoe, HB 217. Let me tell you about that. In fact, thank you, Lundy. I was just, there was just a story in the news a couple days ago talking about they have to move a liquor store in downtown Salt Lake because it's attracting, I don't know, whatever.
Transient.
Attracting something, ants or something, I don't know. And they they have under state law, you can't put a liquor store within 600 feet of a school. And they can't find anywhere to put this liquor store because everywhere you
Because of
go,
the definition
if
of a
you have
school
a
in Utah.
600 feet, well, you go 600 feet perimeter, it's really hard to find a location that's available that's not within 600 feet of a big circle around the school, and that includes the exterior perimeter.
But that also includes private preschools,
charter schools,
and also
So
a
guess
field
what?
trip to McDonald's to learn how to cook.
So we'll knock
As a
off
school event.
100 feet. You know how hard it would be if you've ever looked at a map, and there's a way to do it. Brent Tenney with Utah Shooting Sports
Right.
Council actually created a map that had it mapped all the schools and then did a circle around them 500 feet around the exterior perimeter. You couldn't walk your dog. You were basically trapped in most areas of Salt Lake Valley, especially the super incorporated ones. There's no way for you to walk your dog. Now, what the problem is that people that don't have a concealed carry permit, they don't have one, they don't want one, they don't need one, whatever it is, and they want to carry a firearm, it would be nigh unto impossible to be locked in there, because what this bill does says you cannot carry a firearm within 500 feet of a school, open carry. All right. Not well thought out. And that's HB 217. We do not like that one. And then we've got HB 209. HB 209 right now is
Bill's favorite.
is a gun confiscation bill. It is the Extreme Risk Protective Order, and it is still in House Rules Committee. It is supposed to, appropriately should be sent to either Judiciary or Law Enforcement Committee.
But they
And
want it to go to Health and Human Welfare.
Health and Human Services,
Yeah, Human
HHS.
Services.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
not belong there. It is inappropriate to go there. So you might want to let your friends at in House Rules Committee, a great representative, Representative Hawks is the chair of that committee, and you might want to let them know, hey, that thing needs to go to law enforcement or judiciary, and they know this. They are well aware of it. All right. Representative Stoddard has HB 190, liability of firearm custodian. In short,
very bad bill. This was the one he was going to run for as Lauren's bill.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Basically, it says if you loan a gun, sell a gun, transfer a gun, borrow a gun to somebody else, that you are now liable
Look
for
at a
everything
gun.
that happens with that gun,
For the rest of your
yeah.
life here on this earth.
So there are many talking points against this bill. We don't like that one. HB 152. It doesn't do much. It's voluntary commitment of a firearm amendments. It basically amends the safe harbor law. It's Representative Corey Malloy. We like the bill. It basically says who is it that can actually take a firearm and put it into safe harbor at law enforcement if they choose to? Who is it that can do that? That is the owner cohabitant. And we have to define owner cohabitant. Not just a cohabitant, but an owner cohabitant. Somebody with an ownership interest in it. Moving up, HB 114, Self-Defense Amendments, Representative Corey Malloy again.
Hooray!
Makes it onto Gun Radio Utah, no apologies. And what this bill does, don't let anybody tell you differently. We've looked at this bill up one side, down the other. And it is generally speaking, stand your ground. But we already, what's that, Lundy? Really? Can we go like this? Thank you. All right.
Are we out of time?
Well, yeah, we got a minute left, but I asked for some more.
Okay.
I'm just only halfway through. So anyway, just stretch it out to 2, Lundy. Thank you. All right. And it's a stand your ground, but it doesn't change existing law. It does not change existing law out on the street. You've never had to nor needed to warn or retreat prior to the use of force, even though we recommend it unless it puts you in greater peril. But you may, in fact, stand your ground. All it changes is in the courtroom, the prosecutor can't make hay and say, well,
what were you thinking? What were you doing?
Why didn't you run away? Why didn't you
Yeah.
run away? The defendant is still going to have to prove that they were in imminent, immediate fear of their life and that the force that was used was appropriate and that was necessary to save their life. They're still going to have to do all that.
Exactly.
They shouldn't be further victimized twice, as Representative Malloy says, by having to defend themselves yet again just
Exactly.
because they chose to stand their ground when they didn't have to run away. Further, Representative Lowry Snow, Representative Snow, HB 100 sexual violence protective orders. He worked with us quite a bit on this bill, and he got to the point where we went neutral on it, and I just said that last night in committee. So he's changed that to third substitute right now. HB 94 weapon restriction amendments. That one passed out of the House Law Enforcement Committee. That is Representative Thurston's bill in an attempt to ameliorate some of the DUI type things like that. And it takes away the I'm a cop and I can be drunk and carry a gun
that's
type
kind
of
of what
thing.
it is.
That was it was an awkward situation. And yes, I did use the term liquored up in my
In your
statement to the committee.
It was good.
All right, when we come back, I'll talk about a few more, but we have plenty to talk about in the last segment. So stay tuned to Gun Radio Utah.
Hey, Sean Hannity here from my friends at Renner.
Liquored up.
What?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Wow.
Anybody have anything that we have forgotten to?
You need to stand up for 209.
What's this now?
You need to stand up for your own on 209.
I don't understand what you mean.
Deferring it over to me. Making me.
You're the one that.
I'll be the bad cop.
You're the one that gets in handy space on it. It's
I know.
good.
No hand.
But I am trying to be respectful of his position. And you know,
I have to be
and
somewhat
I'm being very
respectful
civil.
ethically because
Right,
I'm
I
up there
understand.
as a lobbyist. So.
Right.
I don't have to be.
But this is a very, very,
We
very
found our
bad bill.
secret weapon.
Huh?
We found our secret weapon.
Woo woo.
So
was
I'll
it?
real quickly go over federal
Carrie
court, and I'll
Butler's
go
not
over-
a fan of me.
And I'll go over safe storage of firearms.
Action Utah.
Your health is
Is it Carrie?
What'd you do?
How you feel
I don't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't like
affects
me.
you, but it also affects your loved ones.
But she did agree with me.
Whether it's having
And she said it twice, and I called her out on it.
What
I
about?
was,
What do you mean?
I was on, the CRPO. I said, you're taking the woman's right away from protecting herself if it comes down to this. And she goes, well, you're right. But
Did you throw the word "damn it" in there at
Yeah,
all?
damn.
Because
No.
that would have sealed the deal.
Yeah.
I should have.
Throw in appropriately
Damn it.
placed "damn
Damn
it." So I said to Brian Judy, I was getting ready to talk on a bill, and I said, and he goes, "Whoa, what point?" And I said, "Dang," I says, "I'm just trying to figure out where to put in the word "damn it" into my statement." And he used I said, or sons of bitches.
Now, sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches.
Bumpuses!
Yeah, bumpuses. In fact, if I just said bumpuses.
Yeah. Bumpuses!
I don't know that reference.
Bump stocks!
It's because it's from A Christmas Story.
And you've never watched it.
No, I have.
Okay.
I don't appreciate it.
You don't appreciate
I
it.
hate it so bad.
This bit is lost on her.
Oh my gosh, I hate A Christmas Story so
Safe
much.
storage of firearm amendments. We're going to definitely talk about that one.
Okay.
Just very briefly, and then I'll go into federal
You're going to
court.
have to tell me why you hate it so much.
Because it's not that good and everyone loves it and it's played so much.
Yeah, not enough.
Exactly.
It's not played enough.
If there was another holiday we could squeeze it into,
Yeah.
I would. But it's a Christmas
He
story.
has to watch it alone. I will leave the room. I will go watch my own show. Well, he watches
But that's
it
the
once.
way I remember it when I was a kid.
What?
When you got your first Red Ryder BB gun. I mean, that was the best thing. We woke up at 3 in the morning. I ripped that thing open. I opened up the window, the back window. I'm shooting into the dark.
Black Bart. And
Yeah. I hit one BB, hit the chain link fence. You could hear it. Ding, ding. Daylight could not come fast enough.
I don't have
I
that
was
same
9 years
You were
old.
protecting your whole family,
I was
too.
9 years old. Oh, heck yeah. Now, there's another story about that with one of my foster families. And we laugh
In
about
fact,
it to this
safe
day.
storage
They're like,
amendments
you know what? You're
deals
the
with
only
that."
one there to protect us. Even though it was a BB gun. So we had someone breaking into our house. And we all ran into the back room. Yeah, there's me and 3 others, 2 girls and another guy, boy at the
Yeah.
time, kids. And I got the BB gun, and I'm just like, come on, Sergeant, come through that door. What if it's mom and dad? What if it's mom and dad? It ain't
Bill?
mom and dad.
See, Bill, I just click on that, and it pulls up the.
It's Gun Radio Utah. No apologies on Talk Radio 105.9 KNRS. Here's your host, Chairman of the Utah Shooting Sports Council, Clark Kaposian.
All right, we're getting right back into it because we got like 7 minutes or something like that. I'll put the little timer on there, Neely.
Go, go, go.
HB 87, HB 87, House Bill 87 by Representative Elizabeth Waite. I love Elizabeth Waite. I love that. She's a wonderful legislator. I don't like this bill, though, that she has. It's called Safe Storage of Firearm Amendments. Let me put this out there right now. Yes, we encourage, we suggest, we strongly advocate for appropriate and safe storage of all firearms in your possession in such a way that you can deny access to anyone who shouldn't have access to them. What this bill would do is not encourage that in any way. What it does is if you don't store them and someone gets hurt, bam, you're in jail. That's it. It was the bam, you're in jail.
And you know, this was
Now,
brought
it goes
up
farther than
Wednesday,
that,
though.
Yeah.
You know, with the safe harbor bill, and we actually had one gal that stood up, and rightfully so, was scared to death because she had all these firearms, and law enforcement would take them.
They don't like it when you
keep
call
this
them
in
gals.
mind. You don't have to store your guns with law enforcement. You can take them to a friend's house.
Yeah.
Call us at the studio. We'll store them for you.
Yep.
You will?
Heck yeah.
I
I'd
will.
do that for a friend anytime.
All right, talk about storage of firearms. Wait till I tell you about the federal court that I had to deal with. But anyway, safe storage of firearms means that. Let's say that you leave your house and you leave your 17-year-old there and you have a gun locked in a drawer, and somebody kicks down the door at 2 a.m. in the morning, and you're gone. You're on vacation. You and your spouse took off on vacation, left your 17-year-old there in charge because he's a good guy or a good gal anyway. And they grab that firearm to defend themselves, and they shoot the one or all of the perpetrators, the perps. Guess what? You're in trouble, Bill. Under SB 87 because a person was injured because you didn't lock up your gun. Now, it makes no difference that the person injured had it come. Well, it was in lawful self-defense, and that they were trying to break in. Doesn't make any difference if the person was injured, accidentally, on purpose, whatever. In fact, let me tell you something. You could go on vacation, not lock up your gun, just keep it, lock your house or whatever, and somebody breaks into your house. Somebody breaks into your house, hangs out there for a few days, gets a gun, and they left your house. You're still on vacation. They accidentally shoot themselves with the gun because they are not good firearm handlers. Right. You're in trouble, Bill, because you didn't lock. No, I'm serious. I'm absolutely. This is the terrifying part of that. All right, let's talk about storage of that a little bit. What do we got? We got okay, good. Thank you.
Now in Texas,
this
has happened where a child has shot at intruders and actually killed two of them with an AR-15. It was his dad's.
I will remind
in
you,
self-protection.
When they talk about when we're talking about accidents with firearms, Utah Shooting Sports Council, the NRA, we are all on the same page. Secure your firearms against unauthorized access. Stop making us tell you that.
Yeah.
Those folks are already doing that, but those folks that are not doing it are also probably leaving out bleach and Clorox and unprotected stairways and things that kids can choke on because falls, poisonings, drownings, chokings, burns account for the 99% of childhood deaths and accidents between 0 and 14. What accounts for the other? Combination of firearm deaths, accidental firearm deaths, drownings. No, not drownings. Floods. Death from floods, not drownings, but death from floods. We don't have a lot of those in Utah.
No.
And farm machinery accidents. So their time, we'll take care of the safe storage of firearms if they really wanted to save kids. If they were ethically honest and consistent, they'd be working on these other things that are dangers to our kids. So anyway, all right. So I went to federal court on Thursday. On the bump stock ban because we're suing Donald Trump. Yes, well, we're suing the ATF and the FBI.
Right.
And Whitaker, the Attorney General, Whitaker specifically, if he's still Attorney General now. Anyway, and it's kind of hinging. Justice Jill Parrish Judge Jill Parr said for the 10th Circuit Court, one of the things that hinges on thank you, Lundy, is the injunction is you have to you have to show irreparable harm. They said, well, it's not really irreparable harm because you can't. Well, and my attorney argued, well, yeah, it is because you have to destroy the thing, and then once you destroy it, it's irreparably done, and there's no more people making.
There's no monetary refund.
Well, and there's no company that makes these bump stocks anymore. So they said, well, what if we did, and this may be a little bit telling as to what the ruling may come out because it's under advisement right now, is that what if we just held the bump stock or impounded it, so to speak, so that in case we prevail in the overall case of getting rid of the ban completely, then you just get your bump stock back, and if not, then we'll just destroy it afterwards. So the other side came back. They had two attorneys for the federal government. The other side came back and said, there's over 500,000 bump stocks out there. We do not have the facilities with which to catalog in and store these bump stocks.
Then I would stick with that.
And Representative Jill, or not Representative, the Judge Jill Parr said, we're not talking about 500,000. We're only talking about Mr. Aposhin's bump stock. And I think you've got facilities to store that one.
Oh, that's funny.
So anyway,
that's funny.
So anyway, that's so stay tuned. We are sure to hear
So what's the
about
next
the
steps?
ruling. We're sure to hear from the ruling. She's taking it under advisement and maybe more briefs and motions and stuff like that. But before March 26th, at which point, if you have not divested yourself of your bump stock, gotten rid of it, destroyed it, turned it in, whatever, by March 26th, you are a federal felon.
So tell us a little bit about the judge, real quickly. The good gun
She
advocate.
seemed very smart.
Well, yeah, I would expect that. But is she pro-gun, anti-gun? What's her history?
I didn't get any inclination one way or the other.
And we don't have any history?
There is.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not going to say it.
Okay. Save it for another
It's
time.
inappropriate. It's not germane to this case. So
okay,
there you go. Anyways, when we come back next week, we'll have lots more to tell you about Up on the Hill and exciting stories of truth and dare.
Awesome. See ya. Okay, now tell me.
Yeah, now tell us. Wait, cancel.
Wait, I have to wait.